I do wish you would have
sort
of manipulated the fries a little bit.
Hey guys, it's Emery from Emery's Bedtime Stories. And today, since it is Sunday and it is Easter, happy Easter everyone, we will be doing 2 read-alouds. Chapter Book Sunday, which we will be reading Restart, a chapter book that is in my reading tent along with a blanket, and my reading partner, Sophie. Say hi, Sophie. Say hi through the tent. Sophie says hi. She just can't speak English. She speaks silence. But okay, so we will be reading an Easter read aloud and chapter book Sunday. Enjoy. All right, guys, I'm in my reading tent with Scarlett. Find a comfy place to read, and let's begin reading Restart. Lose Your Memory, Find Your Life by Gordon Korman. Chapter 1, Chase Ambush. I remember falling. At least I think I do. Or maybe that's just because I know I fell. The grass is far away, until it isn't anymore. Somebody screams. Wait, it's me! I brace for impact, but it never comes. Instead, everything just stops. The sun goes out. The world around me disappears. I'm being shut down like a machine. Does this mean I'm dead? Blank. The light is harsh, fluorescent, painful. I squeeze my eyes shut, but I can't keep it out. It's an explosion. Voices are babbling all around me. You can't mistake them. Excitement. He's awake. Get the doctor. They said he'd never. Oh, Chase, doctor. I tried to make out who's there, but the light is killing me. I thrash around, blinking widely. Everything hurts, especially my neck and left shoulder. Blurry images come into focus. People standing and sitting in chairs. I'm lying down, a sheet over me, white, which makes the brightness even worse. I raise my hands to cover my face, and suddenly it's tangled in wires and tumbling. A clip on my finger is tethered to a beeping machine next to my bed. An IV bag hangs from the pole above it. Thank God, the lady beside me is choked with emotion. I can see her better now. Long brown hair, dark-rimmed glasses. When we found you, lying there. That's all she can manage to say before she breaks down crying. A much younger guy puts his arm around her. A white-coated doctor bursts into the room. Welcome back, Chase, he explains, picking up a chart on a clipboard at the foot of my bed. How do you feel? How do I feel? Like I've been pushed and kicked over every inch of my body? But that's not the worst part. How am I supposed to feel when nothing makes sense? Where am I demand? Why am I in the hospital? Who are these people? The lady with the glasses gasps. Chase, honey, she says in a nervous voice. It's me, Mom. Mom, doesn't she think I'd know my own mother? I've never seen you before in my life. I buzzed her. My mother is... That's when it happens. I reach back for an image of my mom and come up totally empty. Ditto Dad, or home, or friends or school, or anything. It's the craziest feeling. I remember how to remember, but when I actually try to do it, I'm a blank. It's like I'm like a computer with its hard drive wiped clean. You can reboot and the operating system works fine, but when you look for a document or file to open, there's nothing. Not even my own name. Am I Chase? I ask. while my questions sent murmurs of shock around the hospital bed. This one is greeted with a silent rigid. My eyes fall on the chart in the doctor's hands. On the back of the clipboard is written, Ambrose Chase. Who am I? A mirror, I exclaim. Somebody give me a mirror. Perhaps you're not ready for that, the doctor says in a soothing tone. The last thing I'm in the mood for is to be soothed. A mirror, I snap. The lady who calls herself Mom fumbles inside her pocket book and hands me a makeup mirror. I open it, blown away, the loose powder, and stare at my reflection. A stranger stares back at me. Amnesia. That's what Dr. Cooper says I have. Extra reactions, grade amnesia, the loss of memory prior to a certain event. In this case, me taking a swan dive off the roof of our house. I know what amnesia is, I tell him. So how come I remember a random word like that, but I can't remember my own name, my own family, or why I was climbing on the roof? That I can answer, supplies the younger guy, who turns out to be my older brother, Johnny, a college student home for the summer. Your room has a doorway window. You just open it and crawl out onto the eaves. You've been doing that for as long as I can remember. And did anybody warn me that I might break my neck? Only since you were 6, my mother puts in. I figured if you survived this long, it was time to stop worrying. You were such an athlete. Her voice trails off. Amnesia can be an unpredictable thing, the doctor informs us, especially with a tremendous injury like this one. We're starting to understand which part of the brain controls which of the functions. But for all we know, it has nothing to do with geography. Some patients lose long-term memory, some lose short-term memory, others lose the ability to transfer from short to long-term. In your case, the damage seems totally confined to the sense of who you are and what's happened in your life up until this point. Lucky me, I said brutally. Cooperman raises an eyebrow. Don't knock it. You remember more than you realize. You can walk around and talk and swallow and go to the bathroom. How'd you like to relearn everything, even how to put one foot in front of the other? The bathroom part is definitely an upgrade. They say I was in a coma for 4 days. I woke up, and I can't say how the bathroom side of things was taken care of during that time. But I'm pretty sure I had nothing to do with it. Maybe I'm better off not knowing. The doctor checks a few readings on the monitor, making notes on my chart, and then regards in me acknowledging. Are you absolutely certain you can't remember anything from your life before the regained conscience? Once again, I peer back into the nugless thing. That's where my memory is supposed to be. It's like reaching into a pocket for something that should be there, but isn't. Only that something isn't keys or a phone. It's your whole life. It's bewildering and frustrating and terrifying at the same time. Try harder, I push myself. You didn't just whoosh into being when you came out of that coma. You were in there somewhere. A vague illustrates to form. So I bear down, concentrating with all my might, trying to wrestle it into focus. What is it? Johnny asks breathlessly. At last, the details sharpen into view. I see a little girl, maybe 4 years old, wearing a blue dress with white laces. She seems to be standing in some kind of garden. At least she's surrounded by greenery. Well, there's the girl. I began, struggling to keep the picture in my head. Girl? Dr. Cooperman turns to my mother. Does Chase have a girlfriend? I don't think so, Mom replies. It isn't like that, I insist. This is a little kid. Helen, my mother asks. This name means nothing to me. Who's Helen? I demand. Dad's kid, Johnny supplies. Our half-sister. Dad's sister. I search for contents between these words. And my memories, and they should trigger my memories. My mind is a black hole. There might be a lot in there, but it can't get out. Are the two of them close? Dr. Cooperman inquires. Mom makes a face. Doctor, after the accident, my ex-husband came to shout and escure and punch the emergency wall down. Have you seen him here since then? While his son lay in a coma. That should give you an idea of the relationship between my boys and their father and his new family. I don't know any Helen, I volunteer, but you can't go off of me because I don't know anybody. This is just a little blonde girl in a blue dress with white laces, kind of dressed up, like maybe she's going to church or something, but why I remember her and nothing else, I can't tell you. Definitely not Helen, Mom concludes. She has dark hair, like her mother. I turn to Doctor. Am I just crazy? Of course not, he replies. In fact, this little blonde girl suggests that your memory isn't gone at all. I believe that your missing life will come back to you, or at least some of it will. This might be the key. I want you to keep thinking about her, who she is, and why she's so important that you remember her when everything else has disappeared. I honestly try, but there's too many things going on. Now that I'm not dead, the hospital is suddenly in a big hurry to get me out of there. Dr. Cooperman runs tests on every part of me except my left earlobe. Turns out my brain may be short-circuited, but the rest of me still works. So how come I ache all over? Muscular is the diagnosis. From the fall, or should I say, he chuckles at his own jokes, the suns stop at the bottom. Every muscle from the nose to toes tenses up from that kind of shock. Tack on 96 hours of complete vacuity, and you stiffen all over. It's normal. It'll pass. My only real injuries are a concussion and a separated left shoulder. Turns out my bad diving form saved my life. My shoulder hit the ground before, and in a split second before my head, absorbing just enough of my hard landing to keep the impact from killing me. Mom brings clothes for me to change into. I suppose I shouldn't be blown away that they fit. They're my clothes, after all, but of course they're new to me. I can't help wondering if I have a favorite shirt or a super broken in pair of jeans. I don't remember the car either, a Chevy van, or the house. I take the opportunity to fill in a few blanks about myself. I am not a child of millionaires. I have no great love of cutting the grass, or maybe that one's on Johnny. I've got an excuse. I've been in a coma. I note the window I must have climbed out of, since it's the only one with the roof access. For some reason, I expected it to be higher, and I'm embarrassed, like it's an insult to my manliness. That, such as punny fall, scrambled my brain. When Mom opened the door, a chorus of voices cry out, "Surprise!" A makeshift banner hangs across our living room. Welcome home, champ. A heaviest man about my mom's age steps forward, unfolds me in a crashing bear hug, and rubs my knuckles up and down my head. Good to have you back, son. Mom is horrified. Stop it, Frank. He has a concussion. The man, my father, let me go. But he's defiant. Ambush men can take a few licks, Tina. You're talking about an all-country running back. Ex-all-country running back, Dad, John Anmans. You heard the doctor. Chase can't play football this season. Doopy doctor, my father snorts. What does he weigh? 140 soaking wet? He faces my mom. Don't turn him into a wimp like you did with Johnny. Thanks, that means a lot, my brother says, drily. Why are you here, Frank? My mother replies quickly, losing patience. How many times have I asked you not to use your house key anymore? This is not your house, and it hasn't been for a long while. I pay the mortgage on this place, he groans. All at once, the cloud lifts from his face, and he's grinning. Besides, we have to be here to welcome home the coming hero. Falling off a roof doesn't make me a hero, I mumble. I can't put my finger on it, but there's something about my dad that makes me nervous. It isn't physical. In fact, for a middle-aged guy, he's pretty energetic and spry. Deposit the paint and the funning hair. His smile is totally overpowering. To see him is to want to like him. Maybe that's the problem, I decide. He's too confident that he's welcome everywhere. And going by my mom, he isn't. Not here anyway. He's brought his new family, a wife named Courtney, who doesn't look much older than Johnny, and Helen, my 4-year-old half-sister. Mom was right. Helen's definitely not the girl in the blue dress. She's no big deal, I guess, but I'm disappointed. I was kind of hoping for one thing in my life to be connected to reality. Although I'm meeting them for the first time, I have to remind myself they already know me. For some reason, they don't seem to like me very much. Courtney hangs back, and the little kid stays firmly attached to her mother's skirt. They look at me like I'm a time bomb about to go off in their faces. What did I ever do to them? My father seems to be settling in for a long visit, but Mom's having none of that. He has to rest, Frank, she cries. Doctor's orders. What? He's chopping wood? He's resting alone, she insists, in the room where it's quiet. No sighs. Ants at a picnic. That's what you are. He hugs me again, squeezing slightly less than this time. Great to have you back, champ. Sorry I couldn't be more of a celebration, but Nurse kills joy over there. He inclines his head up in my mother's direction. I stick up for her a little. She's right about the doctor. He said I have to take it easy because of my concussion. Concussion, he snorts. When I played football, I got bonked plenty of times. You rub a little dirt on it, and it's good. Courtney appears at her husband's elbow. We're so glad you're okay, Chase. Come on, Frank. Let's go. I feel like I have to fill the hostile silence that follows. So I lean down to my kid sister. That's a nice doll you've got there. What's her name? She shrinks back like I'm about to eat her. Eventually, Dad's gone, taking Courtney and Helen with him. Johnny goes out to meet some friends, and Mom orders me upstairs to get my head start on the reflection that I'm almost caused a civil war. She has to show me where my room is, which room is mine, because I don't remember any of it. Not the wooden staircase with the faded floor runner in the center. Not the narrow hallways with the narrow ceilings. Not the wooden door with the crack down in the center panel. My mother sees me eventually, the dark, and is momentarily surprised by my surprise. Then she tries to explain. It's away. That's probably my fault. I've always let you and your friends play sports in the house. You're too big for that now, or the house is too small. Which sports? I ask. Tears are conjuring to her eyes. This is hard for her. Football, soccer, badminton, you name it. Being in my room is the weirdest experience of all. It's my room. There's no question about that. The walls are covered with newspaper clippings about football teams I started on and end zones and being nobled by the Escaminos teams, more in familiar faces. There are trophies too, shelves of them. Chase Ambrose, top scorer. Chase Ambrose, MVP, most yards from scrimmaging, team captain, state champions. I'm really somebody. I only wish I know who. It takes some doing to build up my courage, but I eventually make it out over to the window. I was wrong about before. It's plenty high. I'm lucky to be alive. It's like I'm being punished into the middle of somebody else's life. Someone who looks exactly like me, yet isn't me. The doctor is right. I need to rest. I sit down on the edge of my bed. There's a phone on the nightstand. The screen is cracked. I wondered if I had it with me when I fell. I press the home button. It's dead. There's a charging cable right beside it, and I plug it in. After a couple of minutes, the display lights up, and there I am. After a couple minutes, the display lights up, and there I am with two other kids, complete strangers. Although you can tell from the pose that we're in that the three of us are close friends. It's a selfie with the kid on my right as the photographer. I'm in the middle. And the smallest of the three of us, which is, surprisingly, since I'm a pretty big guy, it must be Halloween because there are little kids in costumes in the background. I'm wielding a baseball bat, holding it high. Hanging off the tip of it is a mantle-run jack-o'-lantern. The screen goes dark. I press the button again. The image of the Tremontis Pumpkin Bashers repeats. I can't take my eyes off it. The three of us were wild, gleeful, on Holly. Cake-eating grins. What kind of person am I? Okay, guys, I'm just getting out of my tent right now, and might I say that was a great chapter of this book, Restart. Great job, Gordon Corman. This is a great book. Well, everyone, I hope you come back next week for the second chapter. I think this was going to be a great book. Do you? You can make predictions of what's going to happen. Have fun. Bye. Subscribe. This is Emery closing out. Thanks for watching Emery's Bedtime Story. What adventures await for me? Come tomorrow and you will see. Dream big, dream books. Bye, everyone.